With the 6th pick in the 2020 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Onyeka Okongwu from the University of Southern California.
And here he is, Onyeka Okongwu, going in the first round, 6th overall, two-time Mr. Basketball player in the state of California. Only the 4th guy to do that. Jason Kidd, Aaron Gordon, Tyson Chandler, all also.
What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Yes, I didn't like what the other stuff looked like, so ended up going as short as I can, basically on my longest or whatever type of thicker razor it is. So yeah, I had to deal with it. Hopefully it'll grow by Thanksgiving when I see a lot of like my family in person. But yeah, I don't mind it. It's a lot cooler now. It just sucks when I wear these glasses. I look like someone in the army. So I'm gonna take these off real quick. But yes, as you saw right there, Onyeka Okongwu, the forward out of USC, was selected number 6 overall to the Atlanta Hawks, which I think is a great situation for him. He's gonna be catching a lot of lobs, be most likely playing the center position for them because of John Collins is already there, but he's still gonna benefit with Trae Young playing with that type of point guard. I'm definitely glad, and it was a really crazy story about how he lost his older brother in a random weird skateboarding fall accident, and then he's been playing for him ever since, and that's why it was very emotional. Him and his family all right there, and it's can't be happy for a guy like that. He was out of Chino Hills, California, where he played high school ball, went to USC, where he was drafted. He was in Riverside, California, so keeping it all local SoCal, which is what I love. And then when it comes to the Duke Blue Devils, yes, they did get drafted, at least 3 of them, but all in the 2nd round. Excuse me, very early 2nd round. It was Vernon Carey Jr., who was more of the surprise why he was picked first. Everyone assumed he was going to go undrafted for some reason, even though he has some talent. But Charlotte saw it, so they picked him at 32, I believe it was. And then, good luck to him. It's going to be a weird situation out there. They have a lot of guards out there, which is why they needed a forward, so hope we'll see what he can do. And then Trey Jones, the more highly talented Duke player coming out, he got picked by the San Antonio Spurs, which is, I believe, a great situation for him. I think that was for number 41 or something like that. So he's going to a great situation right behind some really good guys, Patty Mills and all that stuff. So he's definitely gonna perform very well, which sucks because he's gonna be in the Western Conference. But good luck to him. And then Cassius Stanley, the very athletic Duke shooting guard, finally got selected by the Indiana Pacers at number 54. Pretty close to the end of the draft, but you know, they're going to get a very athletic guy who could play the 2 spot, 3 spot on the wing. Very athletic, but he could also shoot the 3 as well. Take stuff off the dribble. So he's a pretty nice get this late in the draft, especially for an Indiana team that might lose Victor Oladipo soon. So very good spot for him. And the Lakers, they didn't do much. They said they might get back into the 2nd round and buy a couple of those picks, but they didn't, which sucked. But they did sign, at least as of right now, 1 undrafted free agent in Xavier Simpson. He's a small point guard from Michigan, which I'm not surprised they did because that's where the general manager went to school and played basketball out there in Michigan, and that's why we had to deal with drafting Moritz Wagner in the 1st round that year, and of course now he's traded. But this guy definitely seems like he does too many turnovers and all this stuff when looking at his tape, so I don't think he's gonna really make the team. He's just giving a spot to one of his alma mater guys during camp just to see what they could do. So we'll see, but I don't know, a lot of the Lakers guys who were up for player options to see if they're gonna come back or not really made up their minds. At least JaVale McGee, he will be coming back on his 5-year deal, which is cool. He'd also be used in a trade as well. I'll get to that later, but at least we know he's back as of this second. Avery Bradley, the shooting guard for the Lakers, did opt out. He's looking to get money somewhere else. It does suck because it was a $5 million deal. which would have been good for the Lakers, but I don't know. I thought he owed it to the Lakers because they won him a championship and he didn't even play in the bubble, but that's just how it goes, I guess. And the Lakers did get rid of one of my Duke guys on the team, Quentin Cook. They waived him the other day, which sucked because he was a big time Laker fan along with his dad, and they won a championship, even though his dad has passed since. But you know, he'll definitely be able to get on to another team anytime soon right now, so good luck to him. And yeah, as far as the draft goes and everything like that, that's what's happened so far. So let's get on to more other stuff. Yes, and I did forget to mention that with Onyeka Okongwu selected in the first round this year, it's been like one of 6 programs for both the NFL and NBA to have a player selected from that school in the first round. So congrats to USC. Pretty sure it'll happen again next year because they have a lot of talented players for football. And then Evan Mobley, I'm hearing a lot about, to be selected like top 5 overall again for a USC player. So hopefully it can happen again. Definitely looking forward to that. Then the Chargers, a couple of Chargers players, especially on defense, were activated from injured reserve. Doesn't mean that they are going to play right away. It just means that the Chargers have now about 3 weeks, 21 days to put them on their active roster unless they go back to IR, which would suck, but I'm pretty sure within this game or the next game, depending on how healthy these guys are and how much they practice this week, they will play soon. Chris Harris Jr., definitely a guy they need out there at corner, and Asmir Bilal, he's been like a really backup linebacker for them, or the rookie, but they need some more depth at linebacker anyway, so it'll help them out. Then ex-Duke shooting guard Luke Kennard, who, if you remember his name, I've been trying to get him a trade with the Lakers, all this stuff from Detroit. And of course, sadly, he was involved in a 3-team trade that sent him to the Clippers, the wrong LA team. But it just sucks because I believe Detroit ended up getting a draft pick, and then the Clippers got Kennard, and then they sent their point guard Landry Shamet to the Nets. But if the Nets were serious about Kyle Kuzma, I mean, Kuzma is, I think, a better player that they would need at a certain position than Shamet. So I don't know why the Lakers weren't involved in this and still got Luke Kennard out of it. I mean, it would have been freaking awesome, and you don't have to worry about Kyle Kuzma anymore. But now you have a knockdown 3-point shooter and a guy who could make plays off the dribble as well. So it's very sad. He is on the wrong LA team, but he does sound like he's excited because he knows it's a great opportunity. So good luck to him. Just don't kill us too bad when you play against the Lakers, buddy. I know what you can do. Then the McClain brothers, the wide receiver from USC, Munir McClain, and his brother who played linebacker, Abdul Malik McClain, they both have entered the transfer portal from USC, which is not surprising since there was that whole FBI thing that happened with the wide receiver Munir, and we haven't really heard much of an update about it at all, except that these guys are now officially transferring from USC at some point. But maybe that's an indication that either nothing has been able to get going for them, so they're upset, so might as well just move on, or it's just going to be a long going case, and since they're not going to let them play, might as well just move on and go somewhere else. So it's a weird situation. Hopefully we get more info about it soon, but yes, definitely very weird stuff, especially when the FBI is involved. So hopefully it's nothing too crazy, but yes, USC football, they missed out on, once again, on Philip Riley. He had committed to USC like a month or two ago after he decommitted from Notre Dame, and he's a 4-star corner, so it was a pretty good get for USC, especially taking a guy from Notre Dame. But all of a sudden he's decided to switch back his commitment to Notre Dame. So I don't know, if this guy decides to flip-flop again, I don't think I really want him, especially if he's still trying to go back to the same other team. So yeah, good luck to you, Philip Riley. We'll see you at least once a year. And then Elijah Vera-Tucker, the offensive tackle for USC in PFF, he's pretty much ranked like the number 1 or number 2 guy according to his stats right now. I don't think he's officially given up a sack in his first 2 games this year, especially playing left tackle, a position that he never played before. He was always a better guard. They always left him there, but he wanted to come back and show that he could be versatile and play the left tackle position, and so far it's been good. But yeah, I mean, it's been so good that I think on a mock draft I saw him being selected by the Chargers number 4 overall, which is pretty crazy, especially with the amount of other talent that's there at that position. But yeah, I don't see that happening, him being selected that high, but excuse me, definitely in the first round I can see it, because he could play multiple positions on that offensive line. And when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks making some news, so they've been in that, I don't know how to speak right now, but in that article they did say that they might be looking to, if they have a good opportunity to trade Getzlaf, then they should. I think they should have already done it last year when he still had some more, productability and more likeness around the league, but he is a year older now. But, we already know he sold his Orange County home, so we kind of think this is pretty obvious that it's going to happen. Ryan Getzlaf will probably be traded before the season. Hopefully they get a good enough player in return, or a good enough draft pick in return as well. That's what I'm hoping for. Then the defensive lineman Jacob Lichtenstein for USC football, who did opt out and not want to start at the beginning of the season because of COVID, has decided that he wants to join the team now and come back, which was kind of surprising because I did not know that was available for guys who did opt out at first. But I mean, he might as well. If you're just sitting around and the team is 2-0 right now, they could use help on that defensive line where he plays. And he's probably not going to be able to clear protocols to play the game in Utah, but maybe a game after that, which is good. So at least we're getting some guys back. And plus, it's kind of not surprising that they would allow them to come back even though they had opted out, because this year basically doesn't count towards their eligibility. So if they were a senior this year, usually you'd graduate and you can't play anymore because you played 4 years, but now you can come back and play a 5th year if you want to improve your draft stock, or just don't feel like this is a good enough year to come out for the draft as well. So kind of works out for him either way. And then when it comes to Kyle Kuzma, again, as I mentioned earlier, he could have been involved in that Nets trade, but another New York team, the New York Knicks, right before the draft were kind of interested in him, so I kind of maybe assumed the Lakers could have gotten that one of those first round picks, especially the later one, but nothing came to fruition, of course, and they didn't really pick up any other guys like rookie wise, like smaller contract wise, that I would like. But I mean, if you still wanted to get Kuzma to the Knicks, I don't think you want to trade him for Julius Randle, who is the next first round pick of the Lakers, because he's making like around $20 million anyways. But maybe like a Bobby Portis, something like that. I don't know, because I think the Knicks gave up a lot of guys recently just to make up cap space to go into free agency that starts like 3 o'clock West Coast time today. So maybe those guys are already available, but maybe if you want to get a draft pick or something else back, it's still possible for him. But I think these are other better trades that someone had suggested in another article, that the Lakers still get Derrick Rose from the Detroit Pistons, but these are just player swaps. There's no draft picks or anything else involved, but the Lakers would get Derrick Rose, and then the Detroit Pistons get Kyle Kuzma and JaVale McGee, who are actually both from Flint, Michigan, which is Detroit, Michigan. So yeah, it's good opportunity for those guys to come home. And I did not say these trades before because they both included JaVale McGee, which he had not opted into his contract, but now that he has, maybe this is more of a logical thing to happen. So you could always just pair those two up. That's at least $10 million to send out, and you get back something cheaper, or something close to it, so you're not spending too much money this year on a guy you're trading for. But another trade that I was really into was, because Houston seems like they might be in sell mode, and especially if they give up one or both Russell Westbrook and James Harden at some point this year, then I'm pretty sure PJ Tucker, a guy who's like 6'5", 6'6", who plays their center position, which is crazy, but he's strong enough to do it. I can see him performing very well on the Lakers, and especially if he could get rid of a Kuzma who doesn't play defense. Yeah, you give up some size with JaVale McGee, but I think Tucker playing with Anthony Davis, so Davis thinks he's playing power forward, but really he's playing center, especially with the size differential. He just messed that with his head, and I think it could be a great thing. And Tucker always hits the corner three as well, plays some solid defense for you, so I think that could be an awesome trade, especially if no like draft picks were involved. But yeah, I think that could be very beneficial for the Lakers. And as I'm trying to remember to end on some miscellaneous news, so yeah, I believe Mark Hoppus, the bassist for Blink-182, recently came out saying that around like a couple years ago, maybe like 2 years ago, that they were in talks to maybe do another tour with Green Day, which they did one in the early 2000s, like 2002, but obviously too young for me to go to a concert like that. But I definitely missed out on that, but it would have been awesome to see them together. It's weird how Blink-182 went with the pitch to Green Day, and Green Day had said no at the time. Maybe it's because Tom DeLonge wasn't there, so it wasn't like 100% the old school like pop disaster tour or whatever they called it. Yeah, it sucks. It's a good opportunity for both of them, but I mean, I don't know. Green Day was gonna play with both Weezer and Fall Out Boy on their big mega hella tour, whatever they called it, this year. But of course, because of COVID, they can't. But I mean, if you can get Tom DeLonge back for Blink-182, I think you can make a lot of money with them playing with Green Day. That'll be pretty freaking awesome, in my opinion. I've never seen both of them live, so be a good double dip for me. And then the Anaheim Ducks, I did forget to mention that they unveiled their retro jerseys for the season. Every team in the NHL got a different version of their jerseys, whatever this retro thing is, and it's alright. I wish they would have went with the normal old school vintage look, in my opinion, but the other one was definitely like, that one you just saw is definitely more like the animated show and stuff like that, so kind of wish they went the other way, but it's alright. We'll see how they look and how they play in them this next season, hopefully. But thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. I'm pretty sure my next video will be Monday after all this free agency stuff happens this weekend. And if the Chargers lose to the freaking Jets, who have not won a game this whole year, then I mean, I'm happy draft wise, but it's very, very sad moment, especially when Sam Darnold, the ex-USC quarterback, is not even playing for the Jets. It would be Joe Flacco, the ex-Ravens Super Bowl guy. But I mean, they got to do anything they can to get Penny Sewell from Oregon, the offensive lineman. That's all the Chargers really need. But like I said, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Peace out. Fight on. Yes, good luck to USC against Utah. Tough matchup. They're probably going to lose, but please, please.